everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. So today's pick a card reading is going to be about the season, quote unquote, in your life that you are currently going through. So imagine, if you will, the beginning of a project would be like spring and the ending would be akin to like winter. So that's what I mean by season. So I'm using the Korean Jeolgi deck, I hope that's the correct pronunciation, which divides the yearly calendar into 24 segments. So there are 24 seasons. So just go by intuition. Pick a card that speaks to you, and I'll see you in a little while. Welcome back, Part 1. So if you chose this card, your season is Chubun. So Chubun is basically the vernal equinox or the spring equinox, and this falls around the later half of March, around March the 21st, and what it represents is harmony, harmonization. So the spring equinox is a time where days and nights are pretty much well balanced in terms of time, okay? So you get equal representation. So of course this is represented by the bridegroom and the bride, right? So two distinct different people, but coming together in the form of a marriage or union. And this is further highlighted by two ducks, two lanterns, to emphasize the point, you know, guidance, both have information to share or input. And so, yeah, this card is basically meaning that if you've had any differences before with people in the past, that's probably going to be fixed. Any obstacles that you have run into in terms of maybe work projects, that's also going to be ironed out. All right, now I paired this card with a fixed star oracle deck, and the card that came out with it was this, the crux, which is basically the Southern Cross, the left arm of the Southern Cross. So anything with a cross formation implies that there's a dichotomy, okay? So there are oppositional forces, but you've got a center point here, okay? So this is where all the differences can be met and so fixed, okay? Because you've got a common point here. Now the message here is, great mystery hidden behind the reality is a never-ending source of creation. And the Sabian symbol is 12 Scorpio. So 12 Scorpio is the diplomatic struggle. This is when the use of power comes in handy. But what is true power? It is the ability to bridge differences without conflict. So that's what true power means. Okay, so now this is the theme or the inspiration that I'm getting from these two cards. But in order to know the true story, we need to use tarot, okay? So today I'm going to use the Ceccoli deck, mainly because the illustrations are very cute. And also, this deck it's actually good for shadow work. So I don't know if anybody else has had this or uses this deck, but it is very good with picking out those areas that are kind of hidden. Okay, so let's see what we have today. Oh, okay, so we've got 8 of Pentacles. Okay. Can we fit another one in? Let me see. Oh, yes, we can. Let's move this down a bit. Oops. Okay, now let's go. Oh. Oh, okay. Now let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Swords here. Lovely. Okay. Okay, so what this looks like to me is that towards the end of March, so mid to end of March, there's going to be a turning point in your life. It currently looks like you're undergoing some sort of self-improvement endeavor. So you might be taking a course, or you might be deciding to take a course to learn some new skills or to get a new qualification. So if you are already undertaking a course, maybe you'll receive some sort of like a certificate, or you'll finish around March. Or if you haven't actually undertaken a course, or you'll probably start doing it around March. Now, it looks like to me what is underlying the desire to want to self-improve stems from some sort of maybe psychological fear of some sort. If you take a look at this girl, right, she's dressed as a bunny. Now, a natural rabbit naturally is scared, and it tends to bolt whenever it feels anything predatory around it, right? It's always on high alert. However, as we all know, humans are the apex predator, but she's identified herself as being very vulnerable and weak, and she shares the same fear as an animal that is genuinely usually hunted as dinner. Okay, so what she needs to do basically is to take off the costume and assume her rightful role, which is one that is at the top of the food chain rather than one that's being at the bottom of the food chain. So it looks as though what's underlying this desire to transform is basically some sort of fear, maybe lack of material security, or maybe you feel as though your particular talents are not recognized and you desire for more recognition in that way. Maybe you're trying to make up for something, but there is an underlying fear of some sort. It looks like you have been working very hard, or you will work very hard, but in a way that is grueling or kind of punishing unnecessarily. Okay, so for example, let's say you wanted to make a hand knitted sweater for somebody, and you've given yourself a deadline that is actually gives a lot of room for error. So let's say it's a birthday sweater, but your personal deadline is to get it done by 2 weeks before the actual birthday, just so you can package it up and then add some bling to it. So, and now let's say that normally your hands will get tired after 30 minutes of knitting. So in the beginning, you push yourself a little bit more, thinking that, okay, I should put a little bit more effort. So 30 minutes, you extend it to 35 minutes. And then you go, what's a few more minutes? And then so from 30 minutes, it becomes 45 minutes. And then later on, you justify, well, since we're already, like 45 minutes in, what's the difference between adding another quarter? So then finally, you end up knitting like an hour each day. So you've basically doubled down on your workload, and also now your fingers are genuinely in pain, okay? So they feel numb, the joints are beginning to feel stiff, and muscles are overused. So it seems as though you're kind of pushing yourself unnecessarily to achieve this goal because of this underlying fear that you used to have. This fear has also pushed you in a direction of overcompensating for something that you feel you lack. So if you take a look at this card, she reigns over her kingdom, but it seems as though it's kind of doubled up, right? So she has, usually if you cut off here, most people are already happy with one castle, but it seems as though she's kind of like doubled up. And the reflection that she sees is not the same. Like, she's a beautiful princess, but take a look at what she sees. So she feels as though the situation, because this is one die, right? And the turn of a die, which means what number will come up, we really don't know. So she feels she's very vulnerable. So she's doubling down on everything to make up for what is fundamentally a world in which you have created that is kind of like a simulacra of the real world. Now, I don't know what has triggered this. It could be the fear that you've had before of feeling very vulnerable. But if you take a look at this card, she has replicated in her little dome the outside world. And even the outside world is not really real because the fish is suspended in wires, right? So this outside world is our the social rules that we have to conduct our lives, basically. So she has sealed herself off that, but she has nevertheless created a similar situation that mimics our real fake world. Now, generally in today's society, how we go about doing that is to have maybe a very strong online presence, but in reality, maybe we don't have a really buzzing social life. And so if you take a look at this card, this is the traditional Tower card. The home that she has built, the home that she has built rests on a unstable foundation, okay? There is instability in this structure. First of all, bits and pieces come flying at her. And also, and just coincidentally, how I was talking about maybe creating like a fake world. Look at NS, not social. Okay, so that's just my own interpretation. But also the primary block of a star here. Stars traditionally were forms of guidance and communication. As we know, the three magi were led by a star. So the building block of the communication rests on an element of being not necessarily truly social. And so the desire to really heal this, which rests maybe in a vulnerable area that connects to the real world, is actually not fixed by having a very significant, for example, social media presence. You still need to do that, as in interact with the real world. Now, underlying this is something which is very, very difficult to do. Okay, so sleeping on a fish swimming in the air. This is an impossible scenario. However, she makes it look effortless. So a very difficult thing to do must appear effortless to you. And so this course that you're undertaking, or this self-improvement program, could be used to address this mechanism. So I don't know. Or it could be an improvement in your social status. But it seems as though it is a problem of real interaction versus another image that is being created to compensate for a fear or a lack. Now, the outcome of this is, okay, now this is a very powerful image. So you can see a very big and ethereal looking girl, but she is in a galaxy filled with stars and planets and things like this. So in terms of importance, all these things are equally as powerful and important as the other. And so this card, I think, is asking you to choose between the desire to blend in by standing out, or standing out simply to blend in. Okay, now I know that sounds a little whack, but this is what I mean. Say, for example, you go to karaoke with your friends, right? And you're killing it. Like, you're the best singer out of your group of friends. So you can stand out by genuinely being the most talented in the group. Or let's say you're an athlete and you make it to the Olympics, where everybody is a top athlete in their country. So basically, you have to stand out simply to blend in. So you have to be the creme de la creme simply to qualify to enter the Olympics. So maybe this is the choice that you're wanting or needing to make. And this self-improvement venture could be connected to this desire of either wanting to stand out to be the best or being the best so you can join an institution or a group where everybody's pretty much at the top. Okay, so what is underlying all this is, at this stage, you're not 100% sure on the direction because you only have the benefit of one eye to see the direction. However, the universe or the divine or whatever that it is that you choose to believe in has both her eyes open. So you are being guided. Even though you might not necessarily feel it or see it at the moment because you don't have full vision, but the universe does. And so you are being pointed to undertake a particular path. Okay, now, okay, so what is the final surprise element? What was under the deck is this card. So this is the Queen of Swords, okay? Yeah, Queen of Swords, yeah. So what you can see here is the cake. I feel so sorry for the cake. Okay, so the cake here sits in front of the girl. And this cake is beautifully adorned, but it is the girl that controls what the cake can see. So this is the power behind the throne. So for example, like in Hollywood, we are usually familiar with the actors, right? And they get all the accolades and, you know, everybody's saying, oh, we know this person, that person. But usually the screenwriters, the producers and directors are less famous. But they are the ones who truly create the movie that we see, even though the visuals are represented by another person. So it seems like in the future, you're going to be in a position where you can wield genuine power, which complements this fixed star energy. So it looks as though once you get this qualification, you will be, or you will have the opportunity to be the puppet master rather than the puppet. So it looks as though you're working towards something that is going to be quite powerful in the future for you. And so now is the time to reconcile the differences or conflicts within your own thinking system, and even maybe society's opinions against what it is that you're trying to do. And maybe the only thing to be wary about is that even if you sacrifice a lot, make sure you do receive some sort of balance, because if you close yourself off in one way but double down on another, that foundation that you're building could still be kind of rocky. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I hope this did resonate, or even if it didn't, just leave me a comment to show me that somebody's watching this. Okay, well, I look forward to seeing you again, okay? So, bye. Welcome back, Pile 2. So, if you chose this card, this is the card of Gokwoo, or the season of the monsoon rains. So this starts about the end of April, about April the 20th onwards. So apparently in Korea traditionally, after the winter where the branches are all, you know, like brittle and dry, the monsoon rain is believed to basically replenish and saturate the trees. So the branches and everything would rejuvenate. And people used to collect the water or the sap that flows from the trees after this monsoon season, and they used to drink that to revitalize their own body. So this card is basically replenishment, and also we know that the water association is with emotions. So we've got the goldfish swimming around and bathing in water, which means maybe after a setback of some sort, or maybe after a period where you feel stagnant or you're not expressing a lot of emotions, you're keeping everything bottled up inside. It is time to release that and to recharge and to basically get back your sanity. So this card is maybe rejuvenation of some sort, okay? So like emotional rejuvenation. I use the Fixed Star Oracle to pair this particular season reading. And the card that came out for this Gokwoo season was Hamal. So Hamal is this star at the center of the Ram. Okay, so Ram is Aries cardinal. So feisty energy. Okay, so let's read. Can you see this? Yeah, let's read the explanation. Headstrong fighting makes you brutish and causes death wounds. Contain your energy to lead and protect. And now here we've got the Sabian symbol of 8 Taurus. So 8 of Taurus generally means moving from one point to another. So how to leave one period in your life and move on. It is also the image of making something out of nothing. So manifestation energies, okay? So the image that they give is sleigh without snow. So to reach one point to another using not much, basically just your own chutzpah, your own bravado and your own imagination to carve out something. So that's what I'm getting. Because after the release, maybe there's new energies coming forth and you've got new ideas. Okay, so that's just my inspiration for these 2 cards, but we need to know the full story. So for that, we'll need tarot. So today I'm going to use the Nicoletta Ceccoli deck. And I like this deck. I love this deck actually because the pictures they're seemingly very sweet on the surface, but there's an undercurrent. It's kind of mysterious. So generally I like to use this deck for shadow work type of readings, and yeah, it tends to point out small little bits and pieces that we're not really aware of, but just lurking in the subconscious. Okay, so our theme is set, releasing emotions and also making a new start, making something out of nothing. Now, let's see what the tarot is going to tell us. Whoa! And we start off with the Emperor. Okay, so definitely there's control here. Oh. Ooh. Can we still see? Let me see. Yep, you're still in frame. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Okay, Knight of Wands. Okay, Knight of Wands. Ooh. Movement. Okay. Okay, so we've got the Emperor here. We've got the Empress here. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. This does look like a relationship of some sort, type of reading. Okay. So especially with the bottled up emotions. Right now, you are taking charge of your life. And even though you've got the sword up, you're ready to go, you are sitting on a rocking horse that's going nowhere. But that is intentional, because even though you are going nowhere, you are rocking back and forth. So you are basically reflecting or mulling over things which have already happened in the past. And when you are really ready to let go, you're going to get off this horse that goes nowhere and you're going to start the journey of 1,000 miles. Okay, so what this looks like to me, okay, what underlies this sorrow, if you take a look at this card, so group 1 actually got this. This card is traditionally the star card, right? But there's a lot of competition here because we're looking at our world, right? Our galaxy, where you're competing with planets and stars and personal ego. So you can see how big her ethereal face is in proportion to the rest of the pictures, okay? To the rest of the picture. And then there's basically sorrow here. Now, it looks like during the partnership, be it romantic or professional, there was always a dominance to be the center focus or to want the spotlight to be shone on each of the each person within the partnership. So this competition, though generally it's not like serious, it's not like a death battle where the egos are so big, because you're on equal footing. The way that the ego manifestation was carried out was, there was conflict. However, as you can see, they are both standing atop a precarious situation. It's not as if either one of them is standing on ground that they're comfortable with. They're both standing on top of a mountain, which is always a dangerous spot. And also, the snake's got the venom, the serpent's got the venom and the frightening fangs. But she's got a series of apples, okay, that she's releasing. And so traditionally, Eve, with the temptation of the apple, she's not tempted. And so even though there are kind of disagreements, it's pretty much a fair fight. So it's harmless, but these harmless squabbles have actually built up and they've become genuine sorrow. One partner has definitely been keeping a lot to him or herself, or like depending on what that relationship is, but one partner's been keeping a lot to themselves, right? So as you can see, there are 8 caged black crows, and only one of them she is addressing, but she's not even meeting the crow eye to eye, but she's at least willing to consider having a discussion on this particular point. But she's concealed 7. So there are other issues here that are not addressed. Now, seven sins, maybe this is the hope that she's contemplating having for all the things that are considered from her perspective to be not so good about the relationship. But we don't know what these 7 problems are. That was just something off the top of my head. So there could be ego battles where it should be normally harmless but has built up, so there's a sense of genuine resentment here. Now, all we can really do in a partnership or in any relationship is to care for what is ours. It's very hard to control the other side. So we can only nurture things in which we have access to, or we can nurture and care for. So this Queen of Wands can actually care for the baby, and she can protect the baby from cavities by, like batting out the donuts maybe or something. But this is definitely within her jurisdiction. She can control this aspect, and this is what she's going to do. And maybe this is what is advised for you to do too. Now, the Emperor is here. He's not looking at the Empress, and the Empress is definitely not looking at the Emperor because she's got something to occupy herself with. So you're not seeing eye to eye with this particular partner in this relationship. The Empress really is interested in what is around her. However, always remember, when we approach nature and we are part of nature's schema, basically. Any forms of curiosity must be done with respect and love. If it's not done with that, there's actually a sense of cruelty behind it. So she's curious about, I think this is like a dragonfly, and there are many bugs around her. One's vying for her attention, but she's interested in this dragonfly. So she's exercising the correct move here because she's using a magnifying glass to basically look carefully at what this dragonfly is signaling to her and what is the makeup of this. However, if this was a bright sunny day, using this kind of magnification would end up hurting the dragonfly. Ditto with dissections. Okay, so this can be done on a cloudy day where there's no harm done. And cloudy days to me, yeah, it's not the most like happy mood to be in. Okay, so it's not like a sunshine day where you want to go on a picnic. However, it does give us time to reflect, and it gives us contemplation vibes, right? Sometimes a melancholic feeling actually allows us to dig deep within ourselves. And this is what she's doing on a day which is, which most people feel is kind of like a grey, dreary day. She has decided to look deeply into an issue. And this is what I think is good to do too. However, if this is taken to the extreme, it is very detrimental. So if you, like I said before, dissect any living, breathing thing in which human characteristics are actual living things as well, because they change with the person who embodies the characteristic. If you tear everything to the minutiae, you're going to, one, go crazy yourself in trying to analyze everything, and then you're going to frustrate the other person. So for me, this card is a cautionary card to respect things that you do want to delve into, that you want to research, that you want to find out more on. And this is reflected from this card. Okay, so it is a painful ending if you try to break everything into its a single solitary unit, because things in life don't function that way. Okay, so you can see what's happened here. There's a party. She's got the beautiful dress on. All her friends are in attendance, but her dress is ruined. The pièce de résistance, the thing that you want the most, is ruined. So there are choices that can be made. You can either feel really bad and that the whole thing was not worth it, like the whole partnership or friendship or the relationship wasn't worth it because it's ruined. The final thing that you wanted, the magnum opus, is not there, it's broken. Or you can be thankful that the party was arranged and the friends did come. So irrespective of the outcome of this actual relationship, sometimes it is good to give thanks for the sheer fact that once upon a time we knew this other soul, or we knew this person, and we grew together up to a certain point. So now this is the cautionary card. Even if things do end, please don't have resentment or extreme negativity towards something that once upon a time was built on maybe love or respect or friendship or kindness. The reason why this closure, keeping of the emotions have happened is because maybe you or your partner has many sides of themselves that are no longer useful, but that form part of the ego identity. So as you can see, this little girl is holding many different mini versions of herself. Like, take a look at this version. She's already looking downcast, right? She's not even looking anywhere near in her direction. Most of them aren't, which means actually her core has already changed, but she's not willing to let go of all these I used to be's. Okay, so maybe once upon a time I used to be very spontaneous, but now I'm responsible. So instead of putting down that spontaneous mark, she's rebelling against something that doesn't deserve rebellion against. But it's just that because that was part of her makeup for a very long time, she's just holding on to it. Of course, what underlies it is if you can somehow transform, things will move ahead. So moving from, remember this card, our fixed star, from A to B out of nothing can mean either you start over again with somebody new, or like a new relationship, romantic, or a new partnership in business, or you build some sort of strength around yourself. Okay, and what I mean by that is this card. Okay, so this Seven of Pentacles, she's built like a spider collar to surround or protect her head, which is the most valuable part, right? Thinking mechanism. Apparently, diameter for diameter, a spider's strand to form the web is stronger than steel. So, of course, if you've got this protection mechanism around you, around the head, which is the most logical part, you'd be able to figure things out. So, once you've done that, you can make the impossible possible. Pigs can't fly until they can. And also, this new direction is looking like different, in a different direction to the original Emperor card, which is the energy that you're embodying here from the relationship here. So it's going to be a new direction that you will end up taking once you unleash all the redundant me's, okay? So the me's that no longer belong to your core, but you somehow can't seem to let go. Okay, but I think the most important here is to release the emotions, because this is our foundation. This reading was built upon this card, which means the need to nourish and release pent-up emotions, and to actually nourish what is precious, which is your emotional state, your heart. So after you've done that, there's going to be a new lease in life. And like, blunt fighting is never a good option. So always trying to think of a creative way out. Control what you can, release what you cannot. And even if you like social media stalk, do it carefully. Even if you want to like understand things more in depth, when you question, when you do anything, try to do it gently, try to do it respectfully. Because curiosity without kindness is actually cruelty. Okay, so yeah, just make things just take on a slightly different perspective on this particular relationship. Well, that's all I've got to say. I hope this reading did help unlock something. I'd love to know what the issue is, because I'm kind of nosy. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Goodbye. Welcome back, Pile 3. So if you chose this card, your season is Soseo, and this falls around the 7th of July. So this particular season heralds basically the rainy season. And traditionally what it is good for is that it softens the ground. So planting becomes easier right before the extreme summer heat. But because it's moving towards the kind of muggy, hot season, what happens to all of us? We get sweaty pits. So this is also a card of secret stories, okay, or secrets. As you can see, it's generally a radiant card because sunflower represents solar energy, but sitting beside her is her BFF, the black cat. So this season is a time to get together after planning or laying down foundations and having a good old yarn with a mate. Okay, so that's this card, and so it's for July. Okay, now I've paired the seasonal readings with a fixed star reading. So this is what fell out when I consulted the deck. So the fixed star is Antares. So as you can see, this part of the Scorpion's body. Okay, let's read our message first. All of a sudden, something is about to end. Accept ill consequences of fatality. That sounds rather grim. But if we take a look at this, the Sabian's symbol, it is the Sagittarius 10. So Sagittarius 10 is basically about redefining what things mean to you, specifically the definition of success through society's eyes. So it is observing what people do to try to achieve the definitions of success according to society, or achieving certain like approval ratings of any kind. So this can mean watching as people like vie with each other to become, you know, Miss Universe. Even kids at kindergarten who want stickers or something like that. But it's basically observing society, what it deems to be good, bad, successful, not successful, and redefining those rules for yourself. So these are the energies that I get from these two cards. But of course, we don't really know the story. For that, we must consult the tarot. So today's deck that I'm going to use is the Nicoletta Ceccoli deck. This deck I love very much, like I told piles 1 and 2, simply because the drawings are very, on the surface, cute, but there's an element that's kind of a little bit dark and somber if you actually carefully look at the cards. But on the surface, anyway, the cards look really, really innocent, and I think most people are drawn to them because of that. But yeah, it's my shadow deck. It's one of my shadow decks. Okay, so let's take a look at the story. What is this about? Okay, so BFF. Okay, so friends, and you've got two heads, but this is a hangman card. The hanged man. Okay. Oh, now we got this. Oh, I know. This is a future thing then. Okay, you can see that. Yep. Ooh. Okay, let's see what's at the bottom of our deck. Oh, okay, so this is a page card. How many pages? Oh, we got 2 pages today. Okay, so every time we hit a page card, you know what that means? It means we need to get a message. Okay, so let's see. Well, we need 2 messages today. Let's see what this is going to be about. 2 messages, please, from my lovely pages. So in this deck, they're called knaves, but traditionally, that's the page card. Okay, what are our 2 messages? Oops. Okay, 1, 2. Ooh. Ooh, okay, this is nice. Okay. Oh, sorry. So the first card that flew out is freedom. You need to have more flexibility with your schedule and income. Being self-employed is ideal. Time off will help you get clear. Oh, okay. Now, what's the second message? Second message is Black Swan, perspective. If you change the way you look at things, you could see everything in a brand new light that will help you get where you want to be. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so let's keep those 2 messages in mind. All right, sorry, can I have a sip of tea? My throat. Alrighty, so now remember our 2 basic stories here: friendship, secrets, time for actioning, making foundation, but we've got the Hangman card here. So the Hangman card is usually time spent alone in which you need to figure things out for yourself. However, we've got two heads here. I think right now you're having a lot of conversations with yourself. There's big internal dialogue. And you're waiting for that aha moment. But because the arguments that you present for yourself stem from the same visual stimulus, you're not going to get that far, even though there's a lot of chatter, internal chatter. So, now this is where this comes in, right? There's somebody who's going to enter your life. This is going to be a soul family, soulmate connection. So it doesn't matter what the relationship eventually becomes, but the role of this person who's going to enter your life is going to inspire you to have a new perspective. Okay, so isn't it uncanny? Look, we got twos. Wow, okay. Okay, so now what has happened? Why is this person coming in? It seems as though there's something that you are working towards. Maybe you have already created some sort of either family or family-like situation in which you expected a happily ever after in. So this can also mean social groups, right? So imagine starting off a little club and hoping it to grow, and then it grows. So it becomes everything that you dream that it would be, only to find now there's fragmentation within the group. People are not in sync anymore, okay? The chorus ain't singing the same song. So we have the traditional mouse card, rodent, generally implies nibbling away of something good or diminishing returns. 5 is usually turbulent energy, and as you can see here, all the blocks are being moved and it's having a ricochet effect. So this is all broken down, but she is escaping with her friend, the elephant. So the happily ever after that you originally created or wanted is now probably breaking apart, and you're trying to escape. And that's why this new person is going to come in and help you through this process. What this person is going to help you do is let you understand that you are only ever responsible for the things that you can control, nothing more. However, the current dynamic is, okay, if you look at this card, okay, now she's created this beautiful structure in which she is housed in. Is this kind of like a palace or is it a prison? So it's one of those questions. Security buys like limitation as well as safety. Now what she's doing is she's looking down at maybe Alice's white rabbit, and this rabbit has a key, and there's a keyhole here. But this is just a key. We don't know if this is in fact the key to unlock her own prison, but she perceives it to be, because she's hoping that this white rabbit will unlock her self-made castle or structure. So it seems at the moment you believe that maybe the breaking apart of something that you've built and the happiness that's been taken away is actually taken away by another person. However, this structure was built by yourself, and I know I hate this. I hate it when people say things like this, because I get it, okay? Because sometimes we work so hard, and then people who don't know us tell us, but you had a hand in its full creation, which means it's destruction. I get that. And it's not as if anybody intentionally wants to break anything apart. But when things really do go awry, there really are multiple factors. However, at this point, maybe you can see only another person holding the solution to the problem that you've found yourself to be in. And you're hoping that this person will unlock your misery or help you through. But this friend who's going to enter your life, this soulmate, is going to help you see that you can only care for the elements that are within your control, which means you can unlock this yourself, or you can simply step over it, because there's no enclosure here. Like, this self-entrapment is very easy to overcome. And once you do that, there's a new system or new opportunity that's in place for you. This new opportunity is this. Now, the salamander in occult basically represents the flame or the passion. Because have you ever watched flames dance, right? So you can see all sorts of images there. And the salamander usually appears in some sort of formation. So there is going to be renewed passion, renewed energy, a new direction. And this card has appeared second time now in these 3-pile readings. This new lease in life that you're going to get, you're not going to fully understand exactly what it's designed to do or where you're supposed to go. And like I explained to, I think it was pile 1 before, you don't have the full picture, you don't have the full vision. Okay, you're looking at half of reality. However, the universe, the divine, whatever that it is that you choose to believe in, has both her eyes open, and there's guidance in your situation. So you don't have to fear. The thing that you must do is concretely decide to take the first step. That's your job. Other than that, there will be guidance continuously coming through. What this experience has caused, because something that you've worked very hard for and towards is breaking apart, it has caused you now to be very fearful. So if you take a look at this, a very vulnerable animal, and the rabbits do have a lot to fear because predators usually enjoy snacking on them. However, human beings are the apex predators, so we're probably the strongest. And she's identified herself as being the weakest. And so this fear that she's latching on, she needs the comfort of somebody or something to understand how fragile she feels now, which is what this next friend that's going to enter your life is going to do. However, this friend will eventually ask you to take off this bunny costume to reassume your rightful role in society, which is that maybe of someone who is very powerful, who is a leader, who basically has their thinking cap on. Okay, so after this person comes and unlocks one part of your mind that tells you to not identify with fear, new things are going to grow. So you're going to start manifesting, you're going to start believing in yourself again and start growing things in your mind to be actioned. And this is why it's the perfect timing to start sowing seeds before the season changes into brutal, hot and muggy. You are trying to grow many things. So the daisy symbolically is being simple and happy and social. Peonies are traditionally symbols of wealth. So maybe you're trying to grow financial stability and you're trying to grow an active social life, or you're trying to come back into society and join it rather than feel like as though you're lost and that you're by yourself. This is what this friend is going to help you see, that you are not alone. Once you actually start envisioning a better future for yourself, so the card at the bottom of the deck is, there is definitely going to be growth. Okay, so she's just standing there minding her own business. But take a look at the vines. They're already growing around her. Leaves and flowers are going to sprout from this. And as soon as she begins to blossom, take a look at what she's attracting. She's attracting multiple butterflies to her effortlessly. So she's not doing anything but being herself now. After she's decided what to do, all the help that she'll ever need will come to her. So this is the opening of the mind. This is giving work or giving direction in which you can work, you can move towards, okay? Because hands are symbolic of work, movement. So help is, well, the future is going to be bright. Things will work out for you. So right now, the only thing to do is when the goal that you've had for quite some time stops or breaks apart abruptly, you need some sort of soul connection to rekindle the flame. And that person is coming. And this can take the form of any kind of relationship that you need at the present moment. Be it platonic, romantic, professional. This soulmate, this person, is designed to get you out of the fear lock that you've got yourself in, and that will show you that you hold the key to unlocking or to providing the solutions for yourself. And once you decide that, you will start imagining what the brighter or better future for yourself will be. If you take that first step, all the others will lock into place and you will receive guidance in towards the new path. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I hope this made sense. I hope this helped in some way. And if you want, you can tell me what situation you are currently facing. And if any of this hit, please let me know. Okay, bye. See you later.